Can you think of a better year in WWE than 2024? I'm talking about the fact that the final boss, because at that, he has returned. I'm talking about the fact that Cody Rhodes finished his story. I'm talking about the return of the tribal chief into the OTC Roman Reigns in my backyard at SummerSlam. I'm talking about Yeet Jey Uso. I'm talking about Liv Morgan kissing Dominic Mysterio. The Judgment Day is now on their third iteration. And how about Survivor Series? War Games! How about the greatest crowd ever potentially in Backlash in France? WWE goes to the Bash in Berlin. How about the Ring General Gunther, the Queen of the Ring Nia Jax, both winning world championships? Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan feud. How about Drew McIntyre, CM Punk inside Hell in a Cell? We're going to talk about all of it as it is time for the WWE Slammy Awards for 2024. We have several categories to get to today, including Male Superstar of the Year, Female Superstar of the Year, Breakout Star of the Year, Return of the Year, Match of the Year, Feud of the Year, the OMG Moment of the Year, the PLE of the Year, the Double Cross of the Year, and the Best NXT Call-Up of the Year. Here we go. Kicking it off with Male Superstar of the Year. We have what, in my opinion, decided this was the Magic Crown Jewel for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship between the American Nightmare and the Ring General. The winner of the match, the American Nightmare, the current undisputed WWE Champion at the time of this recording, because this is before Saturday night's main event takes place December 14th, 2024. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. My runner-ups, the Ring General, Gunther, the Scottish Psychopath, Drew McIntyre, El Champion, Damian Priest, and the Yeet Man himself. What can we say about Cody Rhodes? The journey he went on, winning the 2024 Royal Rumble, then getting replaced by The Rock, then the people chanting, "We want Cody to finish his story." And then Cody Rhodes finishes his story. Then he goes on to have incredible matches with AJ Styles in France and at Cardiff. Clash of the Castle. He goes on to take on Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia, King and Queen of the Ring. Then he goes into this Bloodline feud, and now obviously the Kevin Owens feud here, culminating at Saturday night's main event. Cody Rhodes finishing his story, winning the Crown Jewel Championship, becoming the new face, essentially, of WWE. Nobody, in my opinion, had a better year than Cody. Gunther, if he would have won the Crown Jewel Championship, definitely would have had a shot. Started the year as the Intercontinental Champion, losing that championship to Sami Zayn, but then he goes on to win the World Heavyweight Championship after winning the King of the Ring, and an incredible match with Randy Orton at that event, defeats Damian Priest to win the world title, had another great match with Orton at Bash in Berlin. The incredible match with CM Punk. I thought that he had a very good match with Damian Priest as well at Survivor Series. Gunther's accolades speak for himself this year. How about Drew McIntyre, the man who was obsessed with CM Punk? And those two superstars carried a feud from the Royal Rumble to SummerSlam without ever having a one-on-one match in between there. Drew McIntyre winning the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40 from Seth Rollins. Only his obsession with CM Punk allowed El Champion to cash in and win the world championship. And they had an incredible match at Clash of the Castle, again leading to Drew and Punk's classic trilogy, and Drew McIntyre even returning on the Raw after Survivor Series to take out Sami Zayn to kick us into this storyline where we are at now here as we enter 2025. Drew McIntyre was one of the realest superstars, was always on TV for the most part, had a really great year in 2024. Damian Priest, really, you can make an argument as the breakout star of the year, though I thought as a tag teamer, he was always breaking out with the Judgment Day. He was already on TV. Essentially, that world championship run made Damian Priest a legitimate babyface. When Finn Balor turned on him at SummerSlam, Damian Priest was already turning face in that match going into it against Gunther. Had a great match, as I already mentioned, with McIntyre. How about his match with Seth Rollins and Money in the Bank as well, when Drew, who I forgot to mention this, did win Money in the Bank and obviously tried to cash in there. Damian Priest became a legitimate star this year. And what can I say about the most over entrance in WWE? Yeet. Let's go to the female superstar of the year. Was not a ton of candidates. I think the two are pretty obvious. You have Mummy, Rhea Ripley. It's Tiffy time and Tiffany Stratton. The WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax. But my winner, I think, in my opinion, undoubtedly this year, the woman who messed up the Judgment Day, took out Rhea Ripley's shoulder, kissed Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, who returned after a serious injury at the Royal Rumble, and Liv Morgan became the biggest star, in my opinion, next to Rhea Ripley in the women's division this year. But nobody has grown more in the women's division this year than the current women's world champion. She was kind of floundering there going into WrestleMania 40, but the night after WrestleMania 40, as I already mentioned, the attack on Rhea Ripley, which led to a real injury for Ripley, which led to Liv Morgan winning the Women's World Championship at the King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view, defeating Becky Lynch thanks to some inadvertent interference from Dominic Mysterio. 48 hours later on Raw, her and Becky Lynch have a steel cage match where Dominic Mysterio closes the door on Liv Morgan, or excuse me, on Becky Lynch, allows Liv Morgan to crawl out the door, and then at the end of the show, when the cameras were actually off, Liv Morgan kissing Dominic Mysterio to kickstart this rivalry. When Rhea Ripley comes back, they have their match at SummerSlam. We all think Dom is in the corner of Mommy, and Dom turns on Mommy, and Liv Morgan becomes this evil little conniving Alexa Bliss light. I've heard some people say, though I don't really agree with it, girl that will do whatever she can to protect her women's world championship. Now she's got Raquel Rodriguez by her side, and not to mention, she does also have the women's crown jewel championship. Tiffany Stratton won the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. She is becoming a babyface right before our eyes, and she may be the breakout star of at least maybe this year, if not next year, when she does become the WWE Women's Champion, in my opinion. And how about the year that Nia Jax had? Queen of the Ring, WWE Women's Champion, dominated ever since she went to the blue brand in the draft in May. Breakout Star of the Year. Your candidates are Braun Breaker, Chelsea Green. I already alluded to it. Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, and Solo Sikoa. As I'm doing my best Samantha Irvin impression. Samantha Irvin, you were the greatest WWE ring announcer of all time. We miss you very much. But my winner for Breakout Star of the Year, Big Bronson Reed. Let me explain to you how I came to this decision to go with Bronson Reed over Braun Breaker, because it was really close for Breakout Star of the Year. What it came down to for me is the definition of breakout star. Because before this year, Braun Breaker had spent little time on the main roster. Obviously, in 2022, he came through a little bit there with the NXT gimmick, but now this is obviously a different Braun Breaker. Before the draft, actually, Braun Breaker was teaming up with Baron Corbin, who is sadly, in my opinion, no longer with WWE in NXT. Chelsea Green was absolutely phenomenal this year. Her character work has really broken her out to the point where fans wanted her to win Money in the Bank. At the time of this recording, Saturday night's main event again has not gone down yet. I really want her to win the first ever United States Championship for the woman. She absolutely deserves it. She's an absolute charm and one of the best hires, in my opinion, of the entire Paul Levesque Triple H era. Stratton, we already talked about her breakout year, her becoming a babyface right before our very eyes. Jade Cargill entered WWE and has been a complete attraction, in my opinion. She has been booked so well, so dominantly. We still don't know at the time of this recording who her attacker is. She's been in that tag team with Bianca Belair all year long. It may lead to Belair being revealed as the attacker. That's how we get Bianca and Belair at WrestleMania. That would be a very interesting storyline, in my opinion, for Jade to then probably win Breakout Star next year if she does win a world championship. And then obviously, what Solo has done, raising his character work by facing Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam for the Undisputed Championship, being the new tribal chief, dominating SmackDown even more so than Roman Reigns this year, pitting Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. Solo, his character work has obviously gone through the roof this year. But could you think of a bigger impact? Was it Braun Breaker's been great? He's had incredible matches with the likes of Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Ludwig Kaiser, Sheamus. He's been a multiple time Intercontinental Champion this year. But Breaker started the year on NXT. A breakout star to me is somebody who's been on the main roster for a while, who just comes on and wrecks havoc. And could you think of a bigger way for a superstar who was sort of floundering? He reportedly was going to get a world championship match at Elimination Chamber. Did not happen due to the injury of Seth Rollins and also due to Bronson Reed's wife giving birth. Um, could you think of a better situation for Bronson Reed, who was again doing little stuff on television until the Raw after SummerSlam, where he just took it into his own account? Per Raw General Manager Adam Pearce came out to the ring, delivered six tsunamis to Seth Rollins. That was followed up the next week by six tsunamis to R-Truth, which was then in that incredible storyline with Braun Strowman, where he even tsunami Braun Strowman for a car at some point. There was two big guys just destroying whatever they could. That led to the big monster, the last monster standing match where they broke the freaking ring, and then Seth Rollins came down to order that curb stomp, and that's where we got this rivalry going right now between Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, which culminated in Bronson Reed breaking his foot from doing a tsunami off the top of a War Games cage at Survivor Series. This dude's gone from a big man with great agility who could potentially be a future Intercontinental Champion to, I believe, could be a future dominant world champion and a main fixture on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown programming moving forward. That's the definition of breakout star of the year, the way LA Knight, yeah, was a year ago. Bronson Reed's rise to me is better because he was on the main roster already compared to Braun Breaker, who started the year in NXT. Return of the year. Surprisingly, when you think about it, there was not a ton of returns this year. There were two major ones. Of course, The Rock setting up everything that had to do with WrestleMania 40 with his return on Monday Night Raw Day 1, interrupting former WWE superstar Jinder Mahal in one of his last appearances in WWE. WWE had promoted a former world champion to show up to the show. Jinder Mahal trolled the crowd, but the crowd did not love it. And obviously, Dwayne The Rock Johnson came down, talked the hell out of Jinder Mahal, and then asked if he should sit at the head of the table. And that's what led to the entire Rock coming down, taking Cody Rhodes' spot, The Rock transforming back into the final boss. But it does not happen if that surprise return at Monday Night Raw Day 1 does not take place. But the number one winner for Return of the Year, I think without a doubt, even though it was anticipated, the moment being there in person, hearing the crowd erupt was something I will never forget. At SummerSlam, the return of the OTC, the undisputed world champion Roman Reigns. And he was not going after the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. No, 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 no. He was going after Solo Sikoa. And that's what led to the birth of the OTC. And by the way, the WWE Universe right now, whether you're on Raw, whether you're on SmackDown, it still revolves around the OTC. That to me was by far the biggest return of the year. Up next, we have the match of the year. And I think obviously we all know what that match of the year is going to be. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Bloodline Rules, Night 2, WrestleMania 40, The Avengers, Jey Uso, John Cena, the freaking Undertaker, Seth Rollins with his Shield gear on, stopping Jimmy Uso, stopping Solo Sikoa, Cody Rhodes, the Free Crossroads. Cody finished his story. Cinema. You cannot top a match better than that. That was a match that both fans of Roman Reigns and fans of the American Nightmare were sitting there on pins and needles. We did not know who was going to win this match. This was the most nervous I've been watching a WrestleMania match. Hell, this is the most nervous I've ever been watching a wrestling match in decades. There is not another match of the year, in my opinion. And there were so many good matches this year. Let me just run through a few of them I have on my list in no particular order. As I already mentioned, King of the Ring, Gunther, Randy Orton. How about Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, an instant 5-star classic. How about that I Quit match at Clash of the Castle, Cody Rhodes, and the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. How about night 1 of WrestleMania 40 main event? The match that led us to Cody Roman Night 2 being Bloodline Rules. The Rock making his in-ring return to WWE for the first time since WrestleMania 29. Rock, Roman, Rollins, Cody. That tag team match. And then the most recent match of the year that we just saw, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Sami Zayn, the OTC against Bronson Reed and Solo Sikoa's Bloodline, a match that saw Tagaloa, Bronson Reed, and Jimmy Uso suffer significant indefinite injuries. A match that saw CM Punk saving Roman Reigns at the request of Paul Heyman. CM Punk, Roman Reigns being on the same team and for one night taking out the new Bloodline, and Roman Reigns finally getting his revenge on Solo Sikoa. But folks, that sequence at the end of the Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40, John Cena and The Rock standing face to face, The Undertaker delivering the chokeslam, Jey Uso spearing Jimmy Uso off the stage. Oh my God. The Shield music coming out, Cody Rhodes saying, or excuse me, Corey Graves saying, guys, 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 like Dean Ambrose was going to come out. Michael Cole nearly in damn tears. You can't top a match more than Cody and Roman. Feud of the year. Now, this one I think is pretty obvious. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. Not only did these three guys have three classic matches, the SummerSlam match, which involved Seth Rollins as the special guest referee. Then, at the Passion Berlin, the strap match. And with Drew McIntyre winning at SummerSlam, with CM Punk winning at Passion Berlin, I already alluded to it. It was one of my matches of the year. The 5-star classic at Bad Blood. They basically used a bracelet to tell a story over 8 months, with Drew McIntyre decimating CM Punk in his hometown of Chicago, and that followed after CM Punk cost Drew McIntyre the World Championship on 3 occasions. First, obviously, sweeping his leg and allowing Damian Priest to cash in on him at WrestleMania 40 when McIntyre was already champion. In Drew McIntyre's hometown at Clash of the Castle, CM Punk screwed him out of the World Championship and then screwed him out of cashing in the Money in the Bank, making it a triple threat match between Drew, Damian, and Rollins at Money in the Bank. Drew McIntyre did not walk away world champion from any of them. And again, a few that used a bracelet and no physical match from when Drew McIntyre injured CM Punk at the Royal Rumble to SummerSlam. Incredible. Runner up, I think, is obviously Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Again, that feud's been going on for years, starting in 2023, but really kicked up in 2024. And after Liv Morgan took out Rhea Ripley in her shoulder, it's led to the entire iteration where we're at now of Liv Morgan being the women's world champion, stealing Dom away from Mommy, and also the Judgment Day. Sami Zayn and Chad Gable was an underrated feud for the Intercontinental Championship, which of course led to the Chad Gable heel turn after Chad Gable helped coach Sami Zayn to do the one thing that Chad Gable could not do, and that was defeat the Ring General. At any point, Sami Zayn does it at WrestleMania 40. As I mentioned, Sami Zayn then gives Chad Gable a title match. Gable does not get the job done. Gable turns heel, which of course then only leads to Otis turning on Gable, which then leads to what we have right now with American Made, Chad Gable, Brutus, and Julius Creed, not Ivy Nile as a group. Okay, you can't do feud of the year without obviously including Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. That may be feud of the decade. That may have ultimated, may have not this year. We still don't know what the direction for WrestleMania 41 is going to be. And then I already mentioned it when I talked about Bronson Reed. Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed was an incredible feud. Just trying to outdo each other every week by destroying things in the parking lot, the tsunami off the top of a car, running through walls, and them getting up. And of course, the incredible, as I mentioned, last Monster Standing match, which involved the ring being broken. PLE of the year. This was not close. And I was at SummerSlam, and to me, it's the runner up. But WrestleMania 40, between night one, night two, all the moments. Obviously, Cody Rhodes finishing his story. The Rock and Roman Reigns winning the main event of night one. Damian Priest cashing in and becoming the new world champion after Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins had an absolute incredible clash. Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, an incredible bout for the Women's World Championship. You had Bayley finally getting rid of damage control and having her moment by winning a singles championship at WrestleMania. I already mentioned what Sami Zayn did, knocking off Gunther. We had a great triple threat match between Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton for the United States Championship. A very personal feud between LA Knight and AJ Styles. And obviously a lot more, including the World Tag Team Championships and WWE Tag Team Championships being born off of obviously this ladder match. We had 3 teams from Raw, 3 teams from SmackDown. Finn Balor and Damian Priest losing the tag team titles to 8 Down Under on the blue brand, Awesome Truth on the red brand. And I think, Backlash, I already mentioned it. Yes, it was a 5-match card. The main event was AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. We had Randy Orton and Kevin Owens taking on Solo Sikoa and Tommy Tonga as the new Bloodline made their debut in that street fight. We had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill taking the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on that show from Damage Control. We had a great triple threat match as well, with Bayley, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. That crowd was just red hot throughout the entire show. And then Money in the Bank. Needless to say, the two women's Money in the Bank matches, Tiffany Stratton, and then obviously Drew McIntyre winning them was incredible. We had the six-man main event where Solo Sikoa, Tommy Tonga, and Jacob Fatu took out Randy Orton, as well as Cody Rhodes, and as well as Kevin Owens. But of course, this show also kicked off the John Cena retirement tour, where John Cena announced that he was going to be retiring at the end of 2025. Now, the OMG moment of the year. I talked about this multiple times, so it should be no surprise to any of you. But Dominic Mysterio kissing Liv Morgan on Monday Night Raw was an absolute unexpected shock. And because of the storyline that bounced off it, to me, that was the kiss heard around the world. Now, the only other one that I think could even live up to potentially the OMG moment of the year was when The Rock stole Cody Rhodes' moment. But the one thing about that is, we all kind of knew with The Rock coming back, saying that he was the head of the table. The Rock and Roman Reigns were going to fight at some point. Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble and then pointed right at Roman Reigns. So we didn't know, if The Rock was going to be involved yet at WrestleMania 40 or not, or if, plans changed and Cody was going to go fight Roman Reigns again. Obviously, The Rock stealing Cody's WrestleMania moment is what led us to the most incredible WrestleMania 40 main event in the history of WrestleMania. But again, I think nationwide, that Dominic Mysterio kiss to Liv Morgan on Raw was the kiss that the whole world heard of. Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed bring the ring. I already mentioned it. The Usos and the Bloodline do reunite. A thought that we may never thought to see. Face OTC Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman returning, CM Punk being the fifth man of the War Games cage. How about Finn Balor turning on Damian Priest at SummerSlam? It was kind of a thought I had going into the match once Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio officially turned on Rhea Ripley to begin that evening. But it was still a holy bleep moment being in that arena. Kevin Owens attacking Cody Rhodes backstage in the parking lot after Bad Blood, which is why we have this Saturday night's main event. How about the Wyatt's debut? Remember that? The Wyatt 6 debut, where it was at the end of the show. We went backstage to Gorilla, and everybody was essentially dead. As now Bo Dallas, Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, Dexter Loomis, and the rest of the Wyatt family crew tried to heal those that have turned on other people. The Miz, Gable, and everything involved there with the Wyatt family. The Wyatt Six has been an incredible revolution to WWE programming on Monday Night Raw. Double Cross of the Year, aka Heel Turn of the Year. How about The Rock? The slap that was heard across the world. I mentioned the kiss that was heard across the world with Dominic Mysterio kissing Liv Morgan. The slap heard around the world with the final boss doing so to Cody Rhodes at the WrestleMania 40 press conference in Las Vegas to officially kick off the heel turn of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. My runner-up was obviously, as I just mentioned, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio in the Judgment Day. Ludwig Kaiser turning on Giovanni Vinci, who has essentially been an afterthought after debuting with that new gimmick for a few weeks. And my other one is the babyface turn of Roman Reigns turning on Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam. I thought we all expected it. So, it wasn't the biggest earn of the year, but that was one of them. If Tiffany Stratton would have turned on Nia Jax, it would have been right up there as well. That has not happened yet at the time of this recording. But again, The Rock, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns seem to be involved in almost every big moment of WWE in 2024. And then to wrap it up, the best NXT call up, I think by far is Braun Breaker. I've already listed off to you his accolades, multiple time Intercontinental Champion, and in my opinion, with his recent run and him barking woo 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 and getting the fans over, Braun Breaker looks like heel babyface. It doesn't matter. He is going to be one of the faces of WWE moving forward. And again, he did start the year in NXT, which why to me he's not necessarily the breakout star of the year, but he is the best NXT call-up. Ilya Dragunov. It sucks that he got hurt. He was a stapler of that mid card division on Monday Night Raw when he got called up in the draft. And then Lyra Valkyria, in my opinion, in the women's division, has been the best woman call up by far on the Red brand. She's been a little bit lackluster as of late, but she's in the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament, and she did make the finals of the Women's Queen of the Ring tournament. So to recap here, for everything that we talked about today, my 2024 WWE Slammy Awards, my male superstar of the year was Cody Rhodes. My female superstar of the year was Liv Morgan. My breakout star of the year, Bronson Reed. My return of the year was Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. My match of the year was the Bloodline Rules, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Night 2 main event of WrestleMania 40. My feud of the year was CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. My PLE of the year was WrestleMania 40. My OMG moment of the year was Dominic Mysterio kissing Liv Morgan for the first time on Monday Night Raw. My double cross of the year was The Rock turning heel at the WrestleMania 40 press conference in Las Vegas. And the best NXT call up of the year, I have being Breaker.